What is going on, guys? A21 Mayo here, and today we are going to be going over my settings, what kind of key bindings I use, and we're also going to talk about how to access your INI file, which is where you can change your mouse sensitivity multiplier and your server. And we're also going to be taking a look at GeForce Experience and see some of the things that you can do in that program as well. With all that being said, let's jump right into the video. All right, so to start us off, we're just going to start off on the general page here. Squad privacy, invite only. Matchmaking preferences. So you should definitely have bomb on only. This should be your only selection for whatever multiplayer match you want to play. If you want to take the game seriously, if you're a casual player and you just want to have fun, hey, have fun. You know, play whatever game mode you like, right? But if you truly want to take the game seriously and get better, bomb is definitely the most competitive environment to the public, besides obviously the actual competitive side of this game. So bomb is definitely the way to go. But again, if you're a casual player and you just want to hop on for a few games and have some fun, do what you want to do. More power to you. Have fun. Take the game seriously, whatever you want to do. Now we're going to talk about training grounds. So this was recently kind of, I guess, rebranded or renamed to training grounds from T-Hunt. Personally, I only have disarm bomb on, and the reason for that is because you get the most amount of terrorists in one T-Hunt. So that is why I like to have disarm bomb on. And then the map I select for this is Presidential Plain. And as you can see, it's grayed out and I can't turn it off because this is the only map I have on. If you guys ever watch my live stream, which by the way, if you don't, that will be linked in the description below. But yeah, if you do ever watch my live stream, this is the only map I ever play on because it is the best for me personally for warming up in my 3D space. So what do I mean by 3D space? Well, I mean my arm movement, my mouse movements, right? So kind of understanding how I'm feeling that day because of how long the map is, and it's a very narrow map to the point where you're not really moving horizontally, you're kind of moving back and forth. So you can do a lot of 180s. It's very good for warming up your arm, your shoulders, your elbow, everything like that. Make sure everything's feeling good on the day. But yeah, that is my personal pick for what map I want to T-Hunt on. Display in-game info. So this will show your frame rate, as you can see in the bottom left. Shows frame rate, ping, and then the version number of your game. I'm pretty sure that's what that means, the number. I would assume so. Cycle inside camera groups. Now, I have this off because I don't want my camera selection to automatically swap to the next group. You can pause it, read the description, but basically it'll swap you to a new group if you keep cycling through the cameras. Which I like to have off. Drone after prep phase. So I keep it on manual, so I manually have to press my drone button or my camera button in order to get off my drone. So that way, if my drone is shot or it's automatic, there's 3 different settings within this one option, but I prefer manual personally. PC chat channel, I just like to have off. You never really know what someone's going to say when you're streaming, and I just like to have it off as a personal choice. All right, and then next I want to talk about the audio tab. So most of these settings won't apply to you guys, especially like the master volume, dialogue volume. The only real thing that you should worry about in here is dynamic range. So there's hi-fi, TV, and then night mode, and this is one of the most commonly asked questions within the settings of this game. What dynamic range do you have? What audio setting do you have? Every single streamer gets it, content creator, pro player, whatever it is. So to loosely explain what each of these do, hi-fi will allow the louder sounds to be the loudest that they can be. TV will dampen the louder sounds and keep the lowest sounds, or audio cues I should say, at the same range. And then night mode will increase the quieter audio cues, so like footsteps, breaching charges being placed, things like that. And then set a audio limit to the louder sounds in the game so that way they don't flood or overlap over the quieter audio cues. Now, people love to say, oh, there's a bug with this audio setting, there's a bug with that audio setting. I've always played on night mode, and that's just my personal preference. Try each and every single one out, see what you like, and go from there. You know, it really just comes down to time. But yeah, everything else in here is pretty much irrelevant. As I said, audio levels are going to be completely different for you because you have different ears, a different headset, different sensitivity to your actual eardrums. So don't copy mine just because you see mine. Figure them out for yourself. All right. All right. And next we're going to move on to the display tab. So resolution, 1920 by 1080p. That should be the minimum resolution that you play at. Some people like to play in 1440p or 4K, 8K maybe even if your PC is strong enough. But 1920 by 1080p, the lowest resolution that you should ever go to. Display mode, full screen, so that way you don't have any input lag or anything like that, or any sort of issues. Refresh rate, this is all dependent on your monitor. Me, I have an Acer monitor that is a 240 hertz refresh rate. And if you don't know what hertz means, it's basically the amount of frames your monitor can display in 1 second. So my monitor can display 240 frames in 1 second. Aspect ratio, this is personal preference. This is one of the most commonly asked questions in my Twitch chat on a day-to-day basis. What aspect ratio do you use? What's the best aspect ratio? There's no such thing as the best aspect ratio in this game. That's just like saying, what is the best shoe size? Everyone has different size feet. Some people have an arch in their feet. Some people are flat-footed. It is all personal preference. Test things out and see how you like them. VSync, I just have off. There's really no point for it. Widescreen letterbox, so I think this adds, a cinematic experience. Really no reason for that. Field of view, again, same thing with aspect ratio, personal preference. Try things out. And then brightness is 60, but that also depends on your monitor your monitor settings, which I'll go over in a little bit. All right, graphics. So this is kind of the meat and potatoes of the settings itself. So texture quality is on low for me. Texture filtering also on low. These are kind of like eye candy settings. LOD quality. This is arguably the most important graphics quality in this entire list. So LOD quality stands for level of detail. And this is basically, as you can see, adjust the distance at which lower level of detail meshes are used. So basically this means render quality. If it's set to ultra, you'll be able to have much fuller objects at a longer range. And if it's set to low, some objects will start rendering out or clipping away in some areas of it, allowing you to, maximize your frame rate, right? For example, like a Jaeger headgear, if you're 30 meters away for whatever reason, and you have your LOD quality on low, some of that Jaeger headgear won't load in. But if it's on ultra, more of it will load in, all right? So this is arguably the most important setting within this list. And then second to that would be shadow quality. Shading quality is basically just static shadows. So if there's like a cup or like a bucket or something in front of a light, it'll just cast a shadow. Don't really need it. It's just, again, kind of an eye candy kind of setting. Shadow quality. So this is the dynamic shadows. So basically, if there is an operator in front of a light, it will cast a shadow. A great example is the garage door on Clubhouse. I'm sure most of you know, and if you don't know, if you peek the left side of the garage door, if you're inside garage and someone's peeking the left side, your left side of the garage door leading outside, it will cast a shadow to the right. So that means that you can pretty much pre-fire someone and get a free kill each and every time. I would say 9 times out of 10, if someone is peeking from the left side, again, if I'm looking outside from the inside, it would be my left side. If you're outside looking in, it would be your right side. So, but as I was saying, 9 times out of 10, I'll fry that guy. Just because it's a pre-fire, you see a shadow, whatever the situation is. Reflection quality, pretty self-explanatory. Ambient occlusion, the rest of these are off for me. I only have LOD quality on ultra and then shadow quality on medium. Those are the only 2 settings that I have turned up a little bit besides the lowest that they can be. And that's just my personal preference. If you guys want to know my frame rate, I get anywhere between 250 to 300 frames on most maps. Some maps it might be a little lower by 20 or 30 frames, but not by much. All right, and then moving on to the controls tab within the settings. So raw input, I'm pretty sure has a bug currently at the time of this recording in Operation Neon Dawn, but I turn it off anyways just because I don't have mouse acceleration on within Windows. And if you don't know what it is, mouse acceleration basically means the faster you move your mouse, the faster your cursor will move. So it can create a lot of inconsistencies within your aim or even your mouse movements on your desktop. So that is the only reason for this to be on, is if you have mouse acceleration on within Windows. And if you don't know what mouse acceleration is or how to turn it off or on, it's a simple Google search away. I'm not really going to go over it just because it's not really needed. It's literally a Google search in 30 seconds of your time away. Mouse look inversion, I have no idea why you would want to have that on. Mouse sensitivity, horizontal and vertical. I get this misconception a lot in my chat where people say, oh, you play in 70/70 vertical and horizontal sensitivity? Isn't that really fast? Or how can you control that fast of a sensitivity? I don't have that fast of a sensitivity. I'm pretty sure this conversion is rounded up from the Kickstar Multiplier, which I will go into later on in the video, but I play in the Kickstar Multiplier. And if you don't know what it is, it's in your INI file, and I will show you how to change it in just a few moments. But the conversion, I think, on this is around 8.8 on normal mouse sensitivity multiplier. And if you don't know what that is, then you probably haven't changed your mouse sensitivity multiplier, so you don't need to worry about it. But this on normal default multiplier is 8.8, or I think it's like 7.77 or something like that. I could be completely wrong, but I definitely know it is very close to 8.8. And then mouse ADS sensitivity. So I use the converter, the calculator that Ubisoft provided when I think it was Shadow Legacy came out. So this is my sensitivity right here. I'm pretty sure 1.5 magnification on 83 converted. I think it is 93, but I found that way too fast, so I bumped it down to 89. But everything else is default. If you want to know, how to convert it, just type in R6 sensitivity multiplier Shadow Legacy or something like that. Again, it's something that isn't really worth going over. All right, mouse scroll. So this is off between, switching weapons on your scroll wheel. Since I do have my primary gadget bound to middle mouse click in, I don't want to miss scroll, and I just don't like using scroll wheel for changing weapons. I think it can create a lot of inconsistency with, you could under scroll or over scroll, something like that. Gadget deployment and drone deployment. If you do not have these on advanced already, I highly suggest you do. It will just make your flow of your utility placement and droning so much easier. And if you don't like gadget deployment on advanced, I strongly suggest that you turn on drone deployment on advanced. Because if it's on default or standard, it will, if you throw a drone, it will force you to get on your cam. So if you throw a drone as an attacker, it will force you to take out your phone and get on your cam. And what will happen some of the time when you are forced to get on your camera, is an attacker might jump out of a window or a doorway, and you're forced in the animation of pulling out your phone, or you're on your drone already because you were forced into it, resulting in you dying and not being able to prevent a death that you could have prevented by being able to manually get in and outside of your cameras. So I highly suggest that you turn that on advanced. Aim, hold, this is all personal preference here. Again, same thing with FOV or aspect ratio. This is all personal preference. And then controls, again, personal preference, but for the people who are curious, I will scroll through, pause the video when you feel you want to look at something in specific, and then go from there. Again, do not copy the settings that I am showing you here. It will not make you as good as me or better than me, and not to, flex, how good I am at the game or whatever, because personally I don't think I'm that great. But bottom line is, what I'm trying to say here is, copying someone else's settings won't make you as good or better than that person. It just won't. It's just not how it works. All right, and then next we're going to move on to the accessibility tab. So these two things that were added are a great quality of life change, especially for people who are handicapped, or they don't have a great pair of eyes and they can't really see, especially the chat to text, chat to voice rather. For people who have a hard time hearing or seeing, this is a great change for those people, to try to help them out a little bit in whatever they're struggling with. So I really like to see this change. It was something that should have been in the game whenever it came out, but nonetheless, I'm happy that it is in this game now for the people who struggle with, again, hearing or seeing. And then also colorblind people, there is the colorblind preset now. But for my settings in specific, I just run 100 opacity and then green. I change out the color, the reticle color here and there, just to try something new, But there's really no rhyme or reason why I just do it. Why I do it. It's just kind of, why not have a little bit of a change that isn't too impactful in my mechanics or what I'm already used to, So again, something that you can copy this if you'd like. Again, green and then 100, but you don't have to. It's not going to really change anything about the way you play, or it's not going to make you any better. All right, now the next thing that I want to go over is your INI and where you can access it and how you can find it. So if you have your game on the C drive of your PC, all you have to do is just go to Documents, go to My Games, and then you'll see a folder here called Rainbow Six Siege. And all of your games, all of your accounts and all of the games that you have purchased will be in here. Now, I actually don't have 5 accounts. I think one is from the test server, and also one is duplicated or something. I don't know. I only have 3 accounts personally, but to access them, this is how you get there. So again, you just open up your folder explorer, you go to Documents, My Games, Rainbow Six Siege, and then you're going to see a whole bunch of numbers and letters on these folders. But what I did and what I like to do is put another folder in here by just right-clicking Add Folder, rename it to whatever account you have. So it could be your main account. One of these are going to be my alt account here, and then this one is going to be my solo queue account for the solo queue series that I have on my YouTube channel here. but to, you know, kind of organize it a little bit more so you're not clicking through each and every one trying to figure out what account and what folder you're looking for. But, you know, that is how you access it, and then you can open it. It'll open up a text document, or I think a note document, and then this is pretty much all of your settings, but in a folder. So to access your mouse sensitivity multiplier unit, you have to scroll down to the input section of this folder, and then you want to look for mouse sensitivity multiplier unit. And if you can't find it, you can simply press Control F and then type it in again. It is called mouse sensitivity multiplier unit. Do not get this mixed up with X factor aiming, because what X factor aiming is the multiplier unit to your ADS sensitivity, while mouse sensitivity multiplier unit is for your vertical and horizontal sensitivity. So as I was saying earlier, how I play in 70/70 vertical and horizontal sensitivity, this is what this setting here is, what it applies to. So the normal multiplier unit and the number is 0.02. That is the default one when you first install the game and when you first launch it. It is going to be 0.02. But the Kickstar multiplier, which you can see here, is going to be 0.00223. So that is the Kickstar multiplier, and if you ever forget or want to copy it, you can just type in Kickstar multiplier R6. He's kind of the person who founded this multiplier unit and who kind of made it popular. It's smoother to some people. I don't really see the difference. I think it just allows me to be a little bit more accurate with my vertical and horizontal sensitivity movement. But that is how you access that. And then to access your servers and how to change your servers, you want to scroll all the way down to the bottom. It's all the way at the bottom here, and it's going to be the second to last text line. So as you can see right here, data center hint equals, and this is the server that you are connected to. Now, if you want to change it, you have to type in the data center hint equals, which is always going to be there, and then you have to type in play fab / your server, and all of them are going to be listed right here. These are all your servers within the game that you can connect to as a player. So the only thing you need to worry about is making sure that you have the play fab / in there, and then you can type in whichever server you like to connect to. So again, you can see it right here. It's PLAYFAB / insert the server that you want to connect to. So that is how you change your mouse sensitivity multiplier unit, and that is how you change or connect to a different server within the game. And make sure that you either press Control S or go up to the top left and click Save, so that way you actually save the changes to the folder. And then you have to reset your game if your game is open, like me right now. If I wanted to change something and then I save the folder, or the notepad, and then I open my game up, the changes won't apply. You have to reset your game, and then the changes will apply once you do that. All right, and the last and final thing I want to go over is your digital vibrance. So if you guys have an NVIDIA graphics card, or an NVIDIA graphics card, you will have a control panel, something very similar to this. And what digital vibrance does, it pretty much just makes things brighter. It makes them more vibrant. The color saturation is much more intense. So it's kind of an eye candy type of thing that you can apply to your game, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You can also change your monitor settings, which I will be going over in just a moment if you guys are curious. If you do have the same monitor as me and you want to use the same settings or try them out or whatever it is. But digital vibrance is on 70% for me. Play around with this setting. It doesn't have to be exactly 70. Some people like it at 100. Some people like it at 50 or 60 or 80, whatever it is. Just try it out. Personal preference, really. But yeah, that is digital vibrance there, and that is how you access it. All right, and for my monitor settings, so I have brightness at 75, contrast at 80. My blue light filter is off. My black boost is at 10. ACM is at off, and super sharpness is off as well. And then if we go down to color, gamma is at 2.4, color temp is at normal, and then everything else I think is default. Yeah, for the most part. Yep. Everything else is default. I haven't changed anything. So if you guys do have this monitor or plan on getting it, those are my settings. Again, you can try them out for yourself, see what you like, what you don't like, things like that. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up everything with the settings itself. In terms of hardware, I have the Logitech G Pro keyboard, as well as the Logitech G Pro wireless. And then the headset is the Steelseries Arctis Pro wireless. And if you guys have the same headset or plan on getting it as well, I'm going to show you quickly my equalizer settings here. So as you can see, it is 64866. Volume limiter is off, and then that's pretty much it for the most part in terms of volume and things like that. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up everything. My personal settings, why I use them, how to access some things that you might not have known how to access, and just an overall kind of overview and look at my settings and things like that. So that is going to wrap up today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. While you're down there, you can also find links to all of my social media, as well as my Patreon, Discord, and tip video playlists in the description. If you guys want to go follow me on TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter, whatever your preferred platform is, I would greatly appreciate that support as well. And yeah, with all of that being said, I hope you guys learned something new. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.